So, okay, seems like everything was ready all along, but for some reason, I just had not clicked go live. So that was my bad. But anyway, I had gone through the formations and everything, and I just hadn't clicked go live, which was on me. So, but anyways, Manchester City and Wolves has kicked off, and I've just been talking to myself for the last 3 minutes. Well, I didn't catch it early enough, so I realized, but that's fine. I had to go through the formations and everything. Probably go through it again like halftime. But right now we have Manchester City taking on Wolves. And I was talking about Margehi, number 15. He's a guy I actually want to keep an eye on because he was signed from Crystal Palace. Oh, you see, he got the header. He's very strong, and I feel he's one of those defenders that in the modern age, he brings that sort of like old school defending. He reminds me of, John Terry, someone that's really just strong and aggressive. And to get a player like that for 50 million, I feel is a steal. So it's definitely someone I want to keep an eye on. And one of the reasons I'm watching Manchester City actually is because they got beat by Manchester United last weekend. So I want to see how they react. And they also lost to Bodo Glimt in the Champions League. So yeah, they've had like shaky form over the last couple games. So I want to see how they actually react and what they do. Because we know they are supposed to be, the contenders for the title against Arsenal. And to make everything really, to make the whole season very interesting, it's sort of, they need to stay on it. If they drop off and make it really easy for Arsenal, it just becomes a cakewalk. And, the games it's no longer interesting to watch the game. So I want Manchester City to keep the fire on. So currently they're 6 points behind Arsenal. And as it stands, it's 6 points because, they're currently trolling. But I hope they win so they can cut the deficit to 4 points. And you still have Aston Villa, but I don't think Villa's going to put any sort of resistance to Arsenal like over time. So, but I can trust Manchester City to always stay on it. And just like I was talking about Marmoush starting, and right now he just got the first goal. He just got the first goal for Manchester City. Just have to wait for VAR nowadays because you never really know. You never know. Oh, that was a great goal. That was a great one. Oof, that was a nice finish. I never expected that from him because I thought he was sort of a winger, but that was a striker's finish. Very instinctive. Oh, so Manchester City already started it, eh? They already got the first goal. So I feel at this point it's how many, because if they can get the first goal under 10 minutes, I feel, Manchester City, they're sort of relentless. And they're always going to go for the jugular, always. So I can trust them to put Wolves to the sword. I expect probably 4 goals, at least 4 goals from Manchester City. Oh, so you have I feel while you're trying to still get yourself like settled into the game, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard when you have a team like Manchester City and the way they play. Once they get the first goal, they want to go through the second and the third, and they never they never just stop at one. And I feel just you had Erling Haaland watching from the bench, and Marmoush just got the first goal. So that still breeds that sort of competition, which is going to be really good. What more can you ask for? You can have both of your strikers trying to compete for goals, and it's just only going to it's only going. I feel just make the team play a lot better, just improve how they play. So it's a win-win. But I feel for a player like Erling Haaland that he's going to be. I don't think he might kick up a fuss or anything because he's very secure in who he is. And no one's gonna doubt what he brings to the team or anything. But I feel definitely he definitely wants to play a lot more and be the focal point because you always want to get goals and assists as a striker. But when you have options, I feel a team like Manchester City, that's the good stuff. They have one of those options they can call upon at any time. And even when it comes to defense, they have they have so many players they can pick from. I feel sometimes it almost feels like it's not fair. It almost feels like it's not fair because they have way too many options. But I feel Pep Guardiola over the last 7 years in Manchester City, or however long he's been there, has averaged over £2 billion in spending. So it makes sense that he builds very strong squads that you can't really mess with. And he has all the options, so they're not really going to be susceptible to injuries or things of the sort. So it's really I just feel you cannot. They're a team you can hate because if you're not a fan of Manchester City, it's going to be hard, seeing what they try to do. But if you're a fan of them, it's something that you really commend what they do. They don't waste time in players. Like they don't give way too much time. What I was trying to say. As soon as you get signed, you only get a few games to prove yourself. Most times you don't even get up to a season and you're out of there if you're not performing all that good. And Lewis have been under pressure. They've barely had the ball. And I haven't even talked about the new signing, Semenyo, who's, I think he's got like 2, 3 goals already. And he's been immense he's been really, really good for the team so far. He was never really, I feel, a sort of Pep Guardiola player. But the way he plays nowadays, where he's just trying to get goals and the way the game is going, I guess, where most times it's not really focused on a lot of technical ability anymore. It's more focused on pace, power, and athleticism. So it's just with the direction of the game, I feel he's very suited for the modern football, I guess. So that's the reason Pep has also been trying to fine tune how he plays to make sure that he has a lot of pace and power, especially on the wings. Because once you get on the break and you have your wingers like running on both flanks, really pacey, it's gonna cause trouble for any defense, and you can always get in behind. He still tries to keep the midfield, I think, as tight and compact as possible, using a lot of midfielders that have great technique, like Rodri, Reinders. Those are players I love just because of the way they play the game. It's very controlled. And you have the likes of Turkey too, who has been like an ace up his Guardiola's sleeve this season. So I feel he's trying to maybe find the best of both worlds, just um combine the modern football these days and probably what he grew up playing, I guess, or how he used to coach before. But one of the players I love always watching is Ryan Cherky because he's just so saucy on the ball. Now you can see. Yeah, that's a foul. And he's a player who's always going to get fouled a lot because he likes to carry the ball. And he's been immense for Manchester City. I feel he's been his impact so far has been undeniable. It's something that everyone can see. And also, a player I've also enjoyed watching is Reinders. Oh, that's a great ball in. That was a great ball, but it just got cut out by the defense. Like, I feel I'm kind of trying to understand how City's how they're trying to set up, I guess, because you have Marmoush drifting off to the flank, and sorry, not Doku, Semedo cutting inside and trying to fill up the spot being vacated by the striker that goes out wide. So it seems to be a very fluid formation. Oh, that's great. Oh, that was nice. That was a great play. That's what I was talking about. The fluidity they play with is something that is a joy to watch. So I thought Marmoush was going to be the main striker, just occupying that position and trying to occupy both center backs. But I quickly noticed that he was also drifting out to the flanks. And when he drifts out, the space that he vacates is being filled up by Semenyo. So it's a very fluid front three, I feel. So all I can tell is just we're definitely going to have a lot of goals in the game, a lot of goals, just because of the fluidity that they're trying to play with. And the Wolves are not all that great defensively, so it seems it's just a perfect setup. It's not just seem like a training ground fixture. It's just awful formalities, I guess. Oh yeah, that was a foul. Oh, okay. It's getting sort of spicy because I think the referee had blown the whistle, but he kept on playing, and Bernardo just whacked the other guy. I feel for something like that, it's really going to be a card or anything because I feel you already got the referee had already sort of blown the whistle, so it was That's a great cushion. Great cushion header. Great cushion header. Come on, boy. He keeps going. Oh, come on. It was played just slightly behind the striker. Slightly behind. Now, Manchester City have something really nice going on. And all I can say, it puts a lot of it just puts a seal of approval on Manchester United being able to defeat a team that I feel is this good, and not just being able to beat them by 2 goals, but playing them off the park. I feel because the sort of game I'm seeing from Manchester City right now, I never saw it against Manchester United, which sort of leads me to believe that Michael Carrick is actually, something special because he was not only was he able to nullify Manchester City, he was able to set up a team in a way that count out the way they play and also was able to impose his own style of play, I feel, on the team. So to be able to have that I feel to have that confidence to impose your style of play against a coach like Pep Guardiola that has been there for 10, 20 years. And not only has he been there, he has also been, one of the best managers, I feel. And for for a guy to start out his career as Michael Carrick and go toe to toe against some of the best, in fact, I would say the best of the best right now, and play the way that he played is just, I feel, it's sensational. There's nothing else I can say about that. So I'm more inclined to see what he does against Arsenal. Oh, that was a great pass. That was a great ball. Nice flick. So Wolves are on the attack right now, and I feel they're playing good enough. Oh, nah, come on. That was a wasteful from Mane. They had something going on. They had something nice going on, but he just messed it up. All you have to do is be calm on the ball. And there was someone out wide, played out wide. He should have played the ball out wide and just tried to keep the ball and just played into the box, but he went for glory. He went for glory, and it's all been Manchester City. There's nothing from Wolves so far. It's just been one-way traffic. It seems like a training match. Oh, yeah, it's just been one-way traffic so far, but I feel Wolves have some players that, given some time and space, I feel could probably hurt Manchester City. But are they going to get the time and space that's required? You know, it's just been just steady play for Manchester City, and I do not smell any sort of pressure that the players feel. So it's going to be hard for mistakes. And without mistakes, how I don't think Wolves you're not going to get a goal in any other way. Because the only way I feel this possible is probably from a defensive error or something, but it's not it's not looking likely at all. So far, I can tell Margay is going to be a star for Manchester City. Like he's going to be one of those first names on the team sheet because you can see how he's confident and he's just playing with such swagger and he feels at home. He just feels like, yeah, I only should have been here. Like I should have not been at Crystal Palace, man. Yeah, Manchester City this season, I feel they're still going to they're still gonna have an ace up their sleeve because Arsenal are not going to just run away with the title. And Manchester City are going to have something to say about that, especially at this time in the season where you have, I like to call it the business end, because it's been well over 20 games. So it's half of the season is almost done. And it's at this time, Manchester City, they like to pick up pace and just go on a crazy run. They could go on like an 18 game run and win all of them. Oh, that's foul. Yeah. Ryan Shirky has been, he's been a problem for, what you call it, for the defense. It's just, they all just trying to foul him. That's the best you can do because, what other choice do you have? For a player that has so much in his locker, he's got technique, he's got everything. You give him any sort of time and space, and he make sure he's going to punish you. So it's always going to be closely marked. It's been all Manchester City, and I'm not. Am I really surprised? I can't say that. So it seems like it's going as exactly as planned. I feel Wolves are going to have to do something about that because only just because of their position. It makes at this point they're going to get relegated. So what else can they do? What else can they possibly do? Oh, you okay? They they just have Wolves under pressure, and Wolves are defending really deep. They have two banks of fours, and they've been pinned back in their own half for the last 20 for the pretty much for the whole game for the last 27 minutes. There's nothing they can do about just about the way they are playing because I don't feel they possess the sort of players that can hurt Manchester City in any way. So over the course of the game, it's mostly going to be damage control. And I feel as long as City got the first goal, it's going to be really hard for Wolves to do anything about it. And uh, I love the way Manchester City is set up, and just the fact that you have Marmoush just drifting around, sort of having that free roll across the front three. Oh, that's if you blink, you miss the goal because it was really fast. Yeah, he couldn't really get anything going on for Egypt, but being back in Manchester City, I guess you've got a lot of different players trying to supply you the ball. So for Egypt, he was the only other person I feel he had to play with was Mo Salah, and even Salah wasn't getting the support that he needed. So the entire Egyptian team, I was surprised they got fourth in the AFCON because the lineup looked sort of shaky, and I feel they overperformed. Yeah, well, I feel right now they're trying to get into the game. They're settling a lot better, and they're actually having control of the ball, being able to string a couple passes together. But it just seems like they're only passing the ball in their own half, and they're not really trying to hurt City in any way. And right now, City got the ball back, so they seem to only be able to play the passes in their own half and not really advance. And they seem to be also be pressing really high. They almost caught what you call it, they almost caught Donnarumma over there, but yeah, he was lucky. He was lucky enough. It was a game of inches, I guess. That was really close. Hmm. So, so they're in the ATL box. Oh, he was. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't think Wolves are gonna get a goal in this game because they just seem to be so bad. None of the players are showing any sort of threat. The closer they get to goal, they just always seem to run away from it. Because I do not understand why you're trying to run with the ball. You get an 80-yard box and you turn around. You try to go out again. They can only string passes far from the city goal. It seems like they freeze up the closer they get to the penalty box. Yeah, you have Erling Haaland and Jeremy Doku just watching on. If that's the sort of game you want to stack up your goals, so if I was a striker like Erling Haaland, yeah, I'll be itching to come in because This is the game where you can get 2, 3, 4 goals and just stack up and get. He's gonna get the golden boot for sure, but the more goals you get, it's always better that way. So now I would be mad just trying to sit on the bench when I can smell goals against a team like Wolves. Oof. Nico O'Reilly he's been good this season, I feel. Oh, that's a great ball. Oh, that was just great play all around. I feel Marmish is a player I would love in my team. He's got that sort of he reminds me sort of Mahrez, but maybe not as clean, but close enough. Oh, that's a handball. That's a handball. That's a handball. That's a penalty. So it's going to be VAR, but that's a penalty because he had his arms all stretched. Why would you stretch your arms like that? VAR is still looking at it for way too long. That's a clean, clear penalty. There's no more to it. It's still taking them a long time to be convinced by it. I don't know what they're trying to. Oh, they want the referee to go look at it. But that's day and night. It's clear it's going to be a penalty. How long is it going to take the referee to look at this stuff? I could see it all the way from here. It's a penalty. Arms were in an unnatural position. How long is it going to take the referee? It's been more than 6 minutes at this point. Just clear the penalty. It's clear enough. What is he talking about? Okay. You know what? What is he talking about? He watched the whole season of the stuff on VAR while we had to wait. And his conclusion was, it's not going to be a penalty. It makes no sense. How can he watch the stuff
for all season. He binge watched it. He was binge watching the foul on the sidelines, and he came up with a decision to say it was not a penalty. That was clear as day. That was the clearest penalty I ever saw. That makes no sense.
Oh, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. I'll be livid. I'll be livid. Because I was clearing the penalty, just even waiting for VR. It was clear as day from the first replay. No, this is, I'm bemused. I'm still bamboozled by the whole decision that was just, that we had to sit for the whole VAR to go over and over again, only for the referee to say, oh no, it's not a pen. One of the reasons I guess the players are not too livid about it is because they're already up by a goal. So I feel if it was still goalless, they would have kicked up a fuss. Oh, Sharky, let the ball. Come on, let's see what he's gonna do. Oh, that was a clean shot. That was just slightly over the bar. That was hit really clean. Cool. That was a nice attempt, but yeah, I thought he was going to. He should have done a lot better with that. Maybe take the touch first, maybe, because it was sort of far out. Or try to fake the short or something. Just yeah, I feel Wolves is still. They're not. They're not doing so well, but they're not doing as bad as I thought they would do. So that should count for something. That should count for something somewhere. Oh, that was a late tackle. That was a late tackle from Mascara. Yeah, but it was late, but it wasn't bad enough to have Marmouche just rolling on the floor. I thought there was going to be a lot more goals. It's still just been the one goal, and Marisa Mayo is filling the spaces that Marmouche leaves. He's cutting into the center spaces a lot. Oh, yeah, he's been clearing it in. I mean, he was able to successfully just clear the ball out. They can't seem to keep just string a couple passes together. I always just seem to lose the ball immediately they get it. Yeah, it's the closer they get to the city goal, I feel they start to panic. So, it's just been all city. I actually thought this was going to be, one of those games that, oh, one of those sneaky games where anything could happen. And I was thinking because Manchester City had poor form over the last two games, losing both. I thought the third one was going to be the charm or something, but I don't think so. I don't think so right now. It's going to be more of a routine win for Manchester City. Yeah, Margay, I've talked about him a lot, but it's hard not to see his performance so far. Yeah, I feel that's the sort of game that you do not want to be on the opposition team because you're just running around and it's after a while it gets really tiring and how much effort can you really put in? Because Manchester City is just relentless. We don't I would hate to be on the opposition team. Oh, you see, that's the goal. That's the second one. That's the second goal. I talked about how relentless they were, just trying to pass the ball. That was nice all around. Now, Semenyo is something else. You can see the level of technique he possesses. The first touch out of his feet was just it was a joy to watch. It's, I talked about this game ending for by third goals in the favor of Manchester City. So they only need to get two in the second half, and that's going to be it. It's not something that's going to be hard for them to do. I want to see the sort of changes, if any, Manchester City make in the second half. If they if they maybe try to bring in some of the academy players or stick with the same just stick with what they have. But I feel for a coach like Pep Guardiola, he would probably want to get more goals. So I don't think he's going to bring the what do you call it, the youth players. Oh, so it's halftime right now, and yeah, Manchester City have just been exactly how I expected them to be. It's not been surprising. I feel at this point we just have to count how many goals they get. We're trying to have every all the steps are being updated right now. So we have you take a look at some of the other teams that are playing right now and see what the scores are just across the grounds. So Burnley Tottenham is still 1-0. You have Fulham and Brighton did ahead by 1 goal. That's sort of surprising because Fulham have got a lot of their players back from the AFCON. So I'm surprised that there has not been any change. But in all fairness, there's no other players that go there playing right now. There's no other players that go back from the AFCON that are playing right now. So I guess that's part of the reason why they're not doing so well. Okay, I'm trying to have all the stats for Manchester City being updated. All the goal scorers and everything. Okay, so let's see. Okay, yeah, one of the other games I'm looking forward to this weekend is Manchester United taking on Arsenal. I feel that's the biggest game of the weekend because you have Arsenal there at the top right now, and do not quote me, bro. I feel they're unbeaten at home this season. So it's going to be one of those It's really going to be a tough test for Manchester United. But somehow I feel I'm going to be back in Manchester United to get the W against Arsenal. The worst I feel that could happen would be a draw for Manchester United. Because Arsenal, they're not really playing all that well. So it's not going to be all that great test. It's not going to be a great test for what do you call it, for Michael Carrick, the special one. The special one is no longer Jose Mourinho. It's now Michael Carrick because of what he did against Manchester City. You just had to be there to witness it. And if you were there to witness what happened, then you know what I'm talking about. Okay, we've got we've got all the stats being updated and they're all done. And now we can talk about the next game, which I actually would want to see today. Bournemouth take on Liverpool. I know Liverpool have been sort of shaky throughout the season, but I don't think they're a team we should totally count out because of the level of players they've got. They've got really great players, and one of the players I really like for Liverpool is Hugo Ekitike. And speaking of players, some of the players for Manchester City that have been very commendable, I feel, throughout the whole season have been the likes of Doku. And so he's a player I want to see probably what he does over the course of the season. When it comes to maybe technical ability, I don't feel he's the best, but I was talking about the sort of players we have in this day and age. You don't need to be all that great technically. You just have to have, pace and power, which he does. And it's going to make you successful. And so for Dorgu, I think he has that source. He's got that something special, that X factor that Manchester City always utilize. And you can see that over the course of 19 games, he's only got one goal where he's got 4 assists. I would just say out of the 4 assists he got, 2 of them probably came in one game early in the season. The game where he was really, really excellent. And that's the one game that made everyone take notice. I don't feel any winger has had any sort of performance that compares to that for this season. So Doku is up there, I feel. Maybe his stats don't really tell a little of that because you can see that the goals and the assists I know that much when you talk about the games he's played and also the minutes he's played so far this season. But the other guy I want to still talk about is Matthias Mane. And he hasn't played a lot of games. He's played only 11 games, but he's got 2 goals and 2 assists. And you can see that even with 537 minutes, he's got an XG of 6.62, which is not bad for a guy that doesn't play all that much and just and he's still young, so I feel there's a lot of time to grow and grow into the game, get to know your position, and even get to know what sort of formation suits the way you play. I feel so. Over time, he's a player I want to keep an eye on. He's got the little attributes I feel. He's got the pace. He's got the technique. Although, like earlier on, he had that wild shot that he just He should probably pass the ball to the other guy. That was should have probably played across, but he tried. I feel he's just sort of playing the backs himself. So I like that about him. So he's going to need probably a coach that can, you know, coach some of the nonsense out of his game and just make him focused on the stuff that's very important. And he's someone I feel that, you should just keep an eye on moving forward. So we're still waiting for the second half, and just to confirm, would you call it the halftime scores from the other games? Because you're all in halftime right now. It's still barely in Tottenham. It's 1-1. That game hasn't started on yet. And Fulham Brighton is still one goal in the favor of Brighton. The game hasn't started yet, and we're still waiting on Manchester City and Wolves for the second half to get started. But I want to go back and just talk about some players in the formation and actually how Manchester City had lined up, just starting up, which I had missed out on because I wasn't live. I thought I was live, but for some reason, I wasn't live at that point. So I was basically just talking to myself. So let's go back and talk about the formations. And if we start from the subs bench for Wolves, Aroko Dare, he just came back from the AFCON. He was a player that I feel would have brought that X factor to a team like Wolves playing against Manchester City because he's very physical, and he would, I feel, just be, a nuisance to the Liverpool, to the Manchester City defense. But I guess it makes sense that he's not starting out because he just came back from the AFCON. So who knows? They're trying to maybe get him rested, and that makes sense, I guess. But if we look at the starting lineup for Wolves, I was actually always been impressed by number 11 because he's good pace, he's good power, and he's good unique technical abilities. So, and whenever I describe the play, you always notice I talk about their technical ability because I feel that's something you can improve on as a coach. A player either has it or he doesn't. And for players that do have it, I enjoy watching those sort of players. And those are the kind of players I want on my team. So the Wolves lineup, you can see there are not really a lot of big names. So it makes sense that they're not really putting a huge resistance to a team like Manchester City. But for Manchester City, when you talk about their lineup, it's always going to be star-studded. You have the likes of Donnarumma, who they just signed over the summer, I feel. Yeah, it was over the summer. It was the last days of the summer. And Margay, just came in for £15 million. Just £15 million, which is a steal in this day and age, I feel. And that's the reason I always was talking about him over the first half, just referencing him every time. And you can see the way he played. He was assured, he was sturdy, he was strong. So for £15 million to get a player like that, it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer. So okay. I thought yeah, I think it was maybe disconnected for a second. But we're back on. Yeah, we're back on. So, and for the City subs, the subs of Manchester City, I was surprised that Erling Haaland was left on the bench, and he's now starting. I thought he was going to kick up a fuss because I would kick up a fuss if I was Haaland because you want to make sure you get all your goals. You want to make sure you get all your goals, and for a team like Wolves, that's when you want to sort of stat pad. You want to get a hat trick or get a couple goals. when you have a manager like Pep Guardiola, I feel there's a place or there's a way he manages the team, and I feel he's just if you're going to be playing on the Pep, it's one of those things that you sign up for, so it makes sense. We're about to start the second half. The plays are just coming out right now. The plays are still coming out, and some of the other games have kicked off. Like the Fulham Brighton game is 3 minutes into the second half. We're still waiting for those guys to get out. I don't think Manchester City are going to be making any changes so far. They've got Wolves making 2 changes. Uh, I feel it's just going to be more of the same in the second half because every one of the changes made by Wolves, I don't feel they're going to do anything. Okay. Yeah. Everyone that started the second half is still being old Manchester City. It's not going to be, I feel it's still going to be more of the same. It's still just going to be more of the same. And it's, it's going to be 4. It's going to be at least 4, I feel, because just with the way the game is started, the tempo of City is just trying to buy their time, just moving the ball around, trying to find the perfect time. And the perfect pass. And I think you're gonna find it because when you're playing against a team like Manchester City, it takes a lot of concentration just knowing that you're not going to have the ball. And you're just gonna be running all around. The best position they're going to the best chance they're going to have for a goal, it's going to be it's definitely going to be on the counter attack, or you're going to be a corner kick or something. And, and with Manchester City having the likes of Erling Haaland still come on, it, he's going to be itching to score a goal too. So it's and I feel when they signed Bernardo Silva, he was more of an attacking player, but over time, I feel he has settled into this role of just being a deep line playmaker and just making a team tick from the midfield and not being focused a lot on chance creation. Oh, that was nice. That was a nice take. Now, Manchester City players have got they always sign players who's got something about them. It's not just maybe for the stats or stuff. They just always sign players that just have just that bit about them. Maybe some great or just insane technical ability or just there's just always something. If you just think about from the likes of Aguero to Mahrez, David Silva, Yaya Toure, you go a lot of players over the years, and they never spend all that much. They never spend too much money trying to get these players, which is something also I don't understand how they do it. They don't spend a lot of money to get these players, but they always get great players still. Yeah, honestly, for the Manchester City fans, and don't even know most times what they have to be mad about because you can't really get mad at the players because if you get mad at the players really do not spend a lot of time in Manchester City. If you're not doing good enough, you're going to get out of there. So what do the fans really, what gets them going? I can't really tell you. But for a team like Manchester United, where you have just you have the players being clearly not good enough, not being up to the standard, and they still stay. So that's something the fans over time do complain about because everyone knows the likes of Phil Jones to just stay there for years and years and just go his contract renewed and not really playing. At a team like Manchester City, it's something I know it's never going to happen because they've never really had a case like that before. The period. There's a short window for you to show what you're about. If you do not show what you're about, you get kicked out. I felt those were like really terrible in the first half, but it's been even worse. It's been even worse the second half. It's been so bad. They have not been able to get on the ball or just set a free kick. Oh, that was clumsy. That was really clumsy from Kosanov. He's always I know he's got that bozo gene and he's always, bound to do some clumsy stuff. But if you give him enough time to level up, I feel you've got something on your hands. Something I want to talk about is the fact that if you can see, you have someone behind the wheel right now because Sabazlai in the Champions League actually went under the wheel and scored. So most times it doesn't really happen, but it makes sense to always just put someone there to make sure it never happens. That was close. That was close enough. Yeah, that was not a bad ball. I just feel I didn't even know he was at fault there. It was a nice pause, and I feel it was slow enough. I feel the defender should have just been a tad bit fast enough and just try to get there. I mean, you just see the kind of subs Manchester City make. The first one, especially if it's going to be Erling Haaland. Oh, that's the first. Do I say that the first corner they've had? Yeah, I feel that's the first corner they've had. Okay, time to get this. I just need to get the stuff. What you call it? Get it updated. I don't think anything can change the wolves so far in the game. It's just going to be. It's just going to be one way, and it's. We're still going to be counting the number of goals that they get. Oh, that's a great blue. That's a great blue. No, that was. Oh, come on. You had to do a lot better there. Now, he ruined the chance. He just ruined everything there. Ruined the whole chance. Yeah, take him off. He's got the first goal, and I felt he's going. He's probably maybe tired. Who knows? Just take him off. Bring it on. Come on, go bring on Holland. Oh, that was no, that was that was always going over. That was always going over. So you have Foden coming on right now. If Foden is a player I always enjoy watching. Always, he's just yeah, he's a special player. You can see Holland also warming up. So they've got the big guns. They've got the big guns, and they've got the guys just waiting to be deployed. Oh, Turkey has been immense. He's just been everywhere. He's been everything. He's been involved with everything good that Manchester City have done. Oh, Yeah, it's just been all city. Like, it's totally been all city. There's nothing about, there's nothing this all the guys can do about it. Which is, it's just sort of sad, I feel. It's just, but what else can they do? There's nothing really they can do about it. Okay, so, I was caught up for a minute trying to do some other stuff with the back end, but I think we're good now. We're good now. So let's focus on the game. It's kind of how it's really hard to focus in the game where you have the opposition not really putting any sort of opposition. So it's just been one-way traffic so far. I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be slightly more interesting than this, but because they had showed some promise. They showed some promise in the first half. I might thought it was something we're going to carry on. Well, that was close. That was a chance. Oh, it's another one. It kind of seems they're getting closer every time, but nothing is ever happening. Like, no, it's just been one-way traffic. It's at this point, I almost do, yeah, probably just check on the other guys and see what's going on. I feel all the games today are just pretty much the same from how they've been going over the course of the first half. You can see Haaland and Doak are actually warming up. So it seems like they're going to be coming on soon. Oh, uh that was great defending from Nico Riley. Great defending. He cut out the ball. The other guy was trying to play a square ball, but he just cut it out. I think it was slow. We could have played the ball a lot sooner, though. He was slow with it. You could have played the ball a lot sooner. Yeah, Haaland is definitely going to complete the goal scoring. The 4 goals I talked about, like I can see him getting 2 goals. I wish I actually had him in my fantasy Premier League team, but I never started it. So Mane has just been immense. He skipped past Nunez and he tried to bring him down, so he was successful and he got the yellow card. Oh, that was wasted. Rose have actually got a lot of corners today. Oh, that was nice from Mane. They're bringing on the big guns now, eh? It's time to bring on the big guns. Well, yeah, it's still all just been one way, and you didn't expect anything to change. But I just expected some level of resistance from Wolves. Yeah, I know they're at the bottom or something, but they got Manchester City at a time where what other time would you get them? What other time would you want to play them? Because you get them right now where they're losing every game. They're not sure about themselves. What other time would you want to play them is what I'm trying to say. It's just I just feel they should have used the chance a lot better. They never took it. They just never took it. Uh, oh, that was close. That was really close. It hit the bar. Yo, Semedo has been immense. And Doko's just been steady. Oh, Semedo's just been something else. Oh, that was yeah, Semedo's just something else. I feel he's on the level where he's just playing with so much confidence and everything just works out. It just works out when you're playing with such confidence. You just believe everything you hit stays hit. It's just something like that, I feel. Okay, let's see. Where's this all at? I look at all this stuff and make sure that for everything right. Because this game is pretty much, I feel at this point, well, we can confirm it's done. Yeah, you just have, we have the game almost over, but there's been no change or anything. It's just still been pretty much the same. You have Manchester City dominating most of the game, like all game. Rose have not really had a look in or anything. It's just been one-way traffic. I expected a lot more goals, but who knows? We've got 10 minutes left, and they have the big guns on already, so that might tell us something. Oh, okay. Is this a chance? No, I don't even think they've not made the keeper work in any way. And I feel Wolves are they should be the worst team in the Premier League, so it makes sense they playing like this. Yeah, Wolves have just been poor so far. They haven't shown any sort of promise. That's just been really, it's nothing to write home about, I feel. It's absolutely nothing to write home about. I just thought this was going to be a lot more interesting than this. So just, I feel I've sort of gone over the reasons over and over again. But sometimes you get disappointed, and this is just one of it. I hope the next game is going to be a lot better than this, because this one was just, this was not, this was not promising. Just in terms of like entertainment level, it's just one sided. Man, that would be crazy if from our gay he just scored all the way from there. That would have been the sickest and the coldest debut of all time. You just had man just popped it in from there, just oh. So it's about 5 minutes left, and I don't feel I don't feel there's gonna be that much other time on because nothing really happened. Oh, that was close. Yeah, who's that? Is that Nunez or is that he was a defender there? That was great defending as well. I was trying to say. So I would have loved to see who. Oh, that's the only chance they've got. Yeah, this game has just been boring. I feel it's, it's not been entertaining enough. I wanted a lot more. Now it's just more cards. Oh, that was nasty. That was a bad one. That was nasty. Oh, just hope that was it, and he doesn't experience any more like injuries and stuff after that. That looked like it was really bad. Mm. Yeah, it seems to be fine. seems to be doing okay, but that was a nasty one. It looks like he's okay. He's going to be running back up. Like he's just been recharged with the Duracell battery. So I want to see how much on a time they actually put on it, because I would guess maybe 3-4 minutes. Because and the last 2 minutes probably just comes from the injury or whatever just happened to Doku, and because there's not been a lot that happened in the game, I feel. So it's not. It makes no sense to have five. That's a lot. It's not what I expected. Huh. That's a lot. Yeah, it's just been a slow game. The only player that has been exciting has just been Money, like I said. So it's I'm not really too surprised though, because when you actually look at the table and you see where Wolves are, it makes sense. They're all the way at the bottom. So oh, I thought that was going to be like, one of those thunder strikes. Do they have a last chance? Can they go for it? So Semedo has the ball now, and oh, he's strong. It's hard to get the ball off him. When he gets going, it's really hard. And okay, so what's going on with this? Just go a warning. I think there's a problem with the stream. I can't really tell. I can't really tell. But I'm just going to assume it's still going well, because I feel like I can see some of it. Yeah, but I can see a warning, so it's kind of hard to tell. It's kind of really hard to tell. But anyway, the game's almost over, so yeah, I don't think it matters right now. Oh, I'm still getting the same. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I feel I'm back on now. So yeah, it was just weird for a minute. It just showed me there was like an error or something. But I could still see that I was live, so it was kind of jarring. Oh, come on. Oh, yeah. Manchester City, they celebrating the block like it was a goal. That's really nice to see. You can tell there's a lot of cohesion in the team where you can see where they celebrate what you call it defensive actions just like it was a goal. So Gang is gonna get his first. I feel he's gonna get his first clean sheet. So that's really nice as a defender. Yeah, that's the final whistle. That's it. Yeah, Manchester City are always immense. Like I have nothing else to say about them. It's what it is. So it's 3 points for Manchester City. Goals by Marmoush and Semenyo. I think that was in the first. That was in the first half. So the second half was kind of boring. I feel there was nothing that really happened. It was just City just moving the ball around, and Wolves never really showed any sort of resistance to the point where City felt they were under threat. So the game was just always one sided. And I'm really I want to see what the next game looks like. So I'm going to be streaming Liverpool versus Bournemouth. And I'm probably going to end this one right now and start the other stream. So I'll be back in about 10 minutes.